updates for you, Siddharth.
Welcome back. Well, we are talking about the banking space, considering ICICI Bank is the stock of the day. We have Siddharth Purohit of Angel Broking joining in with his view on it. Siddharth, hi. Thanks very much for taking the time out. Does ICICI's picture change for this quarter's numbers and the watch list post the SR deal, according to you?
See, definitely, all this deal is a very positive move for ICICI. SR deal is positive for ICICI and even for other banks. Now, why ICICI possibly will benefit more compared to others is that, ICICI already had sold part of the NPA to one of the ARC, and there is even sizable amount of loan which is still to be sold. So, if SR is going to repay the debt, then possibly ICICI would be able to recognize those loans as again, the payment gets started and be classified as standard again, and maybe the provisions can be reversed. So naturally ICICI will be a large beneficiary out of this deal. Now, if you look at the entire,
Just one quick question on that, just to follow up. We understand that ICICI is going to immediately benefit because of, the repayment of debt on SR Global's books, which ICICI has exposure to. Have you done the math on that? How much is ICICI going to benefit likely on account of that particular repayment?
See, it is difficult to classify the, individual banks loan to that, but it is fair to assume that, ICICI is significant lender to the entire ICICI group, SR group. And even out of the total proceeding, SR group has been saying that, almost $5 billion will be repaid to at the holding company level and also at the operating company level. That is your SR Oil. So, having exposure to this entire group in a significant way, it is quite fair to assume that large part of that will be repaid and also be upgraded if at all it has been classified into NPA. So there is a high possibility that provisions written back will happen during the current year itself, and that is probably leading to that change in estimate by the state that provisioning requirement should come down and the asset quality should improve to large extent, and that is why market is reacting to ICICI Bank more compared to other banks. But I believe that even other banks will also tend to benefit from this deal, like SBI and Axis also will tend to benefit.
All right, fair enough. Axis, any calculations? What's the exposure? Any hard numbers there?
See, Axis also had sold one of the to the loan to the ARC and almost at a 50% discount to the book value. So 1,000 crores deal had happened, and going by the assumption, if one estimates that roughly 10 to 15% upfront is what normally banks receive in a ARC deal. So on a 1,000 crore deal, it is fair to assume that 150 crores would be the upfront cash, and the balance amount of 850 crores should come in the form of investment. So again, that also gets that reduces the asset quality pressure on Axis also. But what I actually believe is that when you compare ICICI and Axis, I have a preference over Axis compared to ICICI right now. Still now, the reason being that if you observe.
Do you think that the valuation gap won't narrow, according to you? Because currently ICICI is at around 1.2, 1.3 times. Axis is higher than that. Do you think that eventually the valuation gap won't narrow even despite the positive news for ICICI?
See, there is a clear difference, valuation gap between Axis and ICICI. But my estimate says that possibly Axis Bank will be in a position to early recognize all the troubled asset, whatever watch list they have given. And by FY18, I believe that they will be in a position to bounce back to ROE level of close to 16.5%, but I don't expect ICICI Bank to reach that level anytime soon. So I don't think that valuation gap will really fill up so fast, but certainly there is a possibility of further re-rating in ICICI. But my preference towards Axis Bank is because of one fact that the slippages has been contained largely to their watch list, and I'm not expecting major slippages coming in from the non-watch list account, and that gives me a comfort. So we have a preference of towards Axis Bank compared to ICICI Bank.
Sure, Siddharth, thank you very much for your time. It's a pleasure. Appreciate you coming in with that perspective this morning. Time for a very quick break, but here's what State Bank of India